Hi friends, in this video I am going to show you how to create web application with the Java Servlet program. So Java Servlet is a Java program used for responding the HTTP request and generating HTML response. Okay, it process HTTP request and generate HTML response. So for that, the basic requirement of the softwares are actually here. You can see here. These are the softwares needed for creating a web application with this Java Servlet. So first you need to install Java software is needed. You need to go to Oracle website and download the Java software. You have to download and you have to install Java JDK software. Then we need Apache IDE. It is a editor for writing the program, and we need a server. As I told already, Java Servlet run will be executed only in web server, right? So we have a Apache Tomcat web server. We can download from this website and we can install. Once you install, then we need a database software also. For that we can use PostgreSQL. Okay, so you can download from this website, you can install. Okay, so once you install, right, everything, and we can open the Apache NetBeans IDE. Okay, we can start with Apache NetBeans IDE. So first let's open Apache NetBeans. You can search and you can open Apache NetBeans IDE. So this is the interface for the Apache NetBeans IDE. So here in the left side you can see all the projects, and the right side you can see the programs where we are typing. First we have to go to create a new project, and you have to select Java with Maven, and in the right side project type is web application. You have to select web application, then click next. Now we have to give the name of the project name. For example, I want to create employee management app, right? So employee app. We can give version name is mandatory in NetBeans. When you are creating a project, the version name you can give 1.0, 1.1 like that, and click next. And here you have to configure the Apache Tomcat. Sometimes you may get to no server selected. If you are getting no server selected, you have to click add button and you have to select Apache Tomcat. Server name is Apache Tomcat, then click next, and you have to give server location. For example, I have installed my server in inside documents folder inside my directory. See, look at this, I have installed the folder Apache Tomcat. So we have to select this and click open. Okay, I have already done that, so you have to follow this procedure. And when you install Tomcat, if you give any username password, you must provide that username password here. Okay, you must include the username password so that it will you can access the server. Okay, so now I am cancelling it because already I have configured the server location and the username password. Now here I have selected Apache Tomcat and click finish. So when you click finish, it will create the project, right? Now in the left side you can see another new project is created called employee app 1.0, and if you expand you can see there is a folder called web pages, and this is a folder where we can store the HTML program as well as we can store JSP program, okay, Java Server Pages program. And there is one more folder called web INF. Inside this web INF folder you can see some configuration files. For example, web.xml file. So this is a XML file where which will be added with the project. In this file we can configure the time mode, session time mode. By default 30 you will be getting. If you want to increase, you can increase from 30 seconds to 40 second or 50 second. Okay, so 30 second is the standard session out time, and next is we can also see some other configuration, but this file is actually no need to modify anything. We can just close it just to understand. And this file is actually used for configuring your Java servlet, like the name of the Java servlet and the URL pattern and the class name where it is actually stored. So the configuration details will be managed by this web.xml file. So we can close that and we can open with this index.html. Okay, so this is a program you will by default you will be getting. So how to execute this program? So we have to use there is a browser we have to select. Here we have to configure the browser. We can select Google Chrome, then you have to click run button. Okay, you have to run the project. So when you run the project, it will open the before running the project, it will ask the authentication for accessing the application. This is my username password I have configured in Tomcat web server. So when you install Tomcat, if you put any username password, you have to remember that you have to type here and you have to click OK. And when you click OK, we are getting the output like this, hello world. Okay, so whatever mentioned here we are able to see here, right? So this is about how to execute a web application. Now we are going to add Java Servlet. Okay, so we can open the project and we can right click. There is actually Java Servlet will be stored inside this source packages. So you can see in the website there is a folder called source packages. Inside this folder you can see there is a package called employee app, right? So you can just go to that app or anywhere you can click. Okay, so you can select right click new Java Servlet, new servlet you have to select. Okay, so here we can give some name of the servlet. For example, I want to store details about the employee, right? So we can write add employee, that is a servlet name. Add employee is a servlet name. Okay, so next we can click next, and here no need to do anything, you can click finish. And here you can notice that the URL for your servlet is /add employee. Okay, that you just for understanding purpose you can see here, and you can click finish. Okay, so when you click finish, you'll get this servlet program. You can delete these commands, and this particular comments and all you can remove from here. Okay, and we can keep only some of the coding. Okay, so here you will get the class name as public class add employee extends HTTP servlet. So this is a format how the Java Servlet program is created. And here you can see there is one annotation, Java annotation called web servlet. Okay, so this annotation automatically configure your servlet and the URL pattern in this web application automatically configure. There is no need of manually configuration. Okay, so now inside this servlet class, first function is process request. This is a user defined function. If you expand here, you can see one more set of functions also will be displayed. The function is called do get and do post. Okay, so actually we need these two functions only. So remaining function we can remove this. Okay, we can remove the remaining function. For example, I have removed this function, and we can remove this commands also. We can remove. Okay, and we can remove this, right? Similarly, this function is not needed. For better understanding, you have to remove that. And in servlet, actually the function, there are some life cycle functions comes inbuilt. Okay, there are some life cycle functions. Okay, so one of the function is do get, another function is do post. Okay, right? So these either one of the function will be called based on the request. Okay, so that is actually how the servlet is working. Okay, right? So if you are using get method when you are making a request, you will get do get will be executed, and if you are using post, do post will be executed. Okay, right? So now let us understand how we can call this particular this particular servlet. Okay, I want to call, right? So from the interface I want to call. For example, where is the interface? index.html. From here I want to call this particular servlet. Okay, so we can create a simple HTML form. For example, here we can put that we can write something like employee registration form. We can create a employee registration form using form tag, and here very important thing is there is an attribute called action, right? Inside action you have to write the name of the servlet, add employee, and the method can be post, because we need a secure way of sending the data. So if you want a secure way, you can use post method. Then next is followed by inside we can create some interface like that. Okay, for example, I will create enter for example, I want to ask the name of the employee name. Okay, so we can use that input tag from HTML. We can use type is text, then followed by we need a name also. Name is important. Using this name only we are going to access the data. Okay, we are going to access the data entered by the user. Okay, so this is first data, and we are going to move on. You can copy paste this tag, and we can write the next data employee ID, and typically it is employee ID should be number, so we can use number type, and we can use this emp ID. Okay, then next is followed by we need for example, I want to store salary details also. We can use text data. The name should be, you have to change as salary. Okay, so now we got all these data. We can execute the particular servlet by using submit button. Okay, we can use a submit button. Okay, so this button is a submit button. For example, save employee details. Okay, save employee details. Okay, so this is a interface. Okay, so now look at this, how to call that servlet. For example, we have a servlet called add employee. This servlet, how we can call? So it should be called in action attribute. Okay, action attribute. So when you click the submit button, that particular servlet will be loaded. Okay, so now let us see how this let us check whether it is working or not. So since I am using method is equal to post, we have to either keep whether we have to decide which function should be implemented, do get or do post. So when the form method is post, we have to go for do post. So we can remove this do get. Do get is not needed now. Okay, and do post is more secure way of sending data, right? Okay, so it's preferably you have to use do post. Okay, so inside do post, what we can do is we can collect all the data whatever we have we are sending from this HTML form. So just for checking, first we'll check with a message. Okay, so first we need to set the how to write the server side program is, first we need to set the content type, the content type of the response. Okay, response dot content type text or HTML. Then followed by we are going to send response from this server to client, right? So what we need is we need one more thing called IO stream. Okay, we need a IO stream called print writer. We need a print writer stream is needed. So we can write print writer. This print writer, how will you get from the how will you get? Okay, we have to use this object. Which object? Response object. We can use response dot get writer. Okay, so once you get that, we can display, we can send some data to the client by using out.println function. We can say welcome to Java Servlet. Okay, just we'll see check whether it is executing or not. Okay, so how will you execute? You have to go to file, save all the program, then ensure that browser is this one, and click the run button, and now we have the data, right? So now we have some, we can store some value here, something, and we can click welcome to sorry, not we can click the add employee details. Okay, so when I click that, look at this, we are getting the message from dynamically generated message from the Java Servlet from add employee. Look at this, add employee, we can able to see welcome to Java Servlet. Okay, when you go back, we can see this. Okay, so now the next what we are going to do is how we can access these data. Okay, these are called as parameters. Okay, these are called as parameters, and how to access these parameters and how to display it. Okay, when we click this button, I want to display here the input, the parameters. Okay, so let us see how to access those parameters. So for that, we have to use there is a one function. First, for example, I want to store the username from the from this particular form. There is a name field is there, right? Name field. So I want to store that name field. So how you do that? From request object, to read any data from the client, we need to use request object. So you have to type request dot get parameter. What is a parameter there we have used in the form? We can, let's go back and check. The parameter name is name. Okay, so we have to use that parameter here. Okay, and semicolon. Then next followed by employee ID. Okay, so employee ID is a numerical value, so we can usually will be getting a numerical value, right? So get parameter, we can write emp ID. So this should be similar to here in index.html we have written name equal to employee, right? So that same name, parameter name, you have to use here. And the last one is I am going to take the this one, salary details. So salary, let's keep it number also. Let's see, number will see, take it. Salary details we can store, and this is actually not string. Okay, assume that it is integer. Okay, so incompatible type may come. So what we can do is we can use parse int, integer dot parse int, integer dot parse int. We can convert that particular employee ID. We can convert as integer format. And the last one is also we need the salary also as integer format. Okay, or double format. We can store as double. Okay, double. If you want double format, you have to use double class. Okay, double class dot double, and here the variable is salary. Okay, right? So now how to read the parameter from this client form, client sending name employee ID from this HTML form, how to read it? So we have to use request.get parameter function. It returns a string value. If you want to convert integer, you need to use integer.parseInt. Then if you want a double format, you need to go for double.parse. Okay, so now we are going to display the data here. Okay, so we can put the title as you can say that the employee details we can display, and out.println we can say that name is, okay, name is that username. Then followed by we can use line break for displaying the line break. Then followed by we can use out.employee ID, emb ID, and we can display the employee ID. Followed by we can use servlet, not servlet, salary of the employee. We are going to display salary. Okay, so now there is no error. We can save this program, click save all, and we can execute the program again. So now this is the interface. I'm going to give some name, for example like this, and here we can type only numbers, and salary we can write some salary we can write. Now look at this, employee details displayed over here, name Arul Xavier VM and employee ID 512 like that. Okay, so if you want to bring it next line, we have to add one more line break. For example, here I didn't mention any line break, right? So we have to use that. If you want to put in a H1 tag, you will get more dark heading will be more dark like this. Okay, and you can see here, yeah, you will get error, but we have to go back and we have to execute the project again. Whenever you change a program, you have to execute the project again. For example, this time I will give this, and we can say some salary details, 50,000. Now look at this, employee details entered by the client. It is accessible through request object from do post. That object is a type of HTTP servlet request. Okay, so using that request object, you can access get parameter, the parameter name from the HTML form. This name only we are using, employee ID and salary. Okay, so here we can able to access and we can able to print. Okay, so the output look like this. Okay, so that's all about the basic introduction about how to develop web application with Java Servlet. Thank you all.